manobuddhyahaṅkāra cittāni nāhaṃ na ja śrotrajihve na ja ghrāṇanetre na ja vyoma bhūmir na tejo na vāyuḥ cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham na ja prāṇasaṅjño na vai pañcavāyuḥ na va saptadhātur na va pañcakośaḥ na vākpāṇipādau na copasthapāyu cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham na me dveşarāgau na me lobhamohau mado naiva me naiva mātsarya bhava na dharmo na chārtho na kāmo na moksha cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham na punyam na papam na saukhyam na dukkham na mantro na tirtho na vedo na yajña aham bhojanam naiva bhojyam na bhokta cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham na me mrityu shanga na me jati bheda pita naiva me naiva mata na janma na bandhur na mitram gurur naiva shishya cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham aham nirvikalpo nirakara-rūpo vibhūr-vyāpya sarvatra sarvendriyanam sada me samatvam na muktir na bandha cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham 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 śivo'ham
Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. In our last session, we had discussed the first part of the first shloka. As we have seen earlier, Nirvanashatkam can be taken either as the contemplation of a sadhaka, reflections of a sadhaka, or expression of experience of a realized one. In both ways, we can take this Nirvanashatkam. And at the same time, this is a prakarana, a smaller prakarana, and also a stotra. There is a piece of writing in praise of the self. Here, both negation and affirmation, adhyaropa and apavada, that is the subject matter of this stotra. How to realize the self through this adhyaropa and apavada. How a sadhaka's contemplation of the self will be. Or in other words, out of compassion, a realized one is expressing the inner experience. So here we have seen the first three padas: manobuddhyahaṅkāra cittāni nāhaṃ. Aham manobuddhyahaṅkāra cittāni na. Aham na ca śrotrajihve. Aham na ca śrotrajihve. Na ca ghrāṇanetre. Na vyoma. Na bhūmir. Na tejo. Na vāyuḥ. So I am not the inner instruments of knowledge. I am not senses of knowledge or cognition. I am not the elements by which the whole world is created. Of course, this body is made of that. This body is a part of the world. But I am not that. I am the experiencer. I am the seer. I am not the seen. Then after negating all this, who am I? That is reiterated in all shlokas. Who am I? The first part it is said, I am not that, I am not that. By negating everything which are not me, but till now I was considering as myself because of so many superimpositions, because of so many false identifications. Now I am negating them. And by negating all this, finally, I am reaching at a point which cannot be negated. And what is that? Cidānandarūpaḥ. If I am not all these objects, if I am not a part of the world, the manifested phenomena, who am I? Cidānandarūpaḥ. Aham śivo'ham, aham śivo'ham. So I am Chidananda. My form is Chidananda. Here Rupa means not the form. Rupyate anena. That is Rupyate anena, by which a thing or a phenomenon or a matter, whatever it be, is objectified. That is Rupa. By which we are objectifying. That is Rupa. So here we need not take the meaning strictly as Rupa form. I am of the form of Chidananda. No, I am of the nature of Chidananda. My real nature is Chidananda. That is Cidānandarūpaḥ. Rupyate anena iti rupa. So my real nature is Chidanandarūpaḥ. And what is Chidananda? It is Chit plus Ananda. I am both Chit and Ananda. Or, in other words, I am the Ananda of Chit. Then what is the meaning of Chit and what is the meaning of Ananda? The meaning of Chit is knowledge absolute. It is not the Chitta. Chitta is a function of Antakarana, which is responsible for storing all impressions, which is responsible for memories. That is Chitta. Here it is Chit. Chit is entirely different from Chitta. Chit is knowledge absolute. That is the very self or the very substratum from which all waves of consciousness, all forms of knowledge, all cognitions are erupting. Just like ocean, from where innumerable waves are forming. And these waves are there, they are moving one after the another. They are staying in the ocean. They manifested from the ocean, and they will or they must dissolve into that ocean. And even when we are calling them waves, they are nothing but ocean. There is no waves other than the ocean, different from the ocean. In the same way, innumerable thought waves, mental formations, ripples, they are coming and going incessantly, manifesting and dissolving, and in between staying for some time. And these waves are responsible for all our knowledge, all our cognitions, all our activities. So from where they are coming and in which they are staying and unto which they are dissolving. That is the base of all, and that is the absolute or the ultimate consciousness. It is the absolute consciousness. But using the term consciousness is not that much apt. So we can say knowledge absolute. So by the term chit, this is meant. In the Upanishads, we can see many terms used to mean this chit, as jnanam, prajnanam, so many terms like that. Satyam, jnanam, anantam, brahma. And in another place, Shruti says vijnanam, anandam, brahma. So vijnanam, prajnanam, brahma. There it is prajnanam. And in some other places, chit is used, like Sachidanandam Brahma. Sachidanandam Brahma. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Anandam Brahma. So many Shrutis are there. So many. So the meaning of Jnanam or Vijnanam or Prajnanam or Chit is knowledge absolute. The ultimate knowledge, or the very base of all cognitions, just like the ocean, which is the base of all waves. That is Chit. So I am that Chit. My real nature is Chit Bhava. I am Chit. I cannot be Achit. And this Chit is Ananda. Anandam is bliss absolute. Bliss absolute. That is my real nature. Without knowing that, I am wandering here and there in search of happiness. I am running behind many objects, many things of the world, many objects of this universe, in search of happiness. Why? Because I am not knowing what my real nature is. Putting many covers one after another. I am binding myself. I am covering myself. And through the light of knowledge, which is emerging out through these coverings, I am seeing this world. I am getting so many objects of the world. And I am running behind or wandering here and there, running behind many objects of the world in search of happiness. Because of the coverings, I am not recognizing my own real nature. This is the present position. So what I have to do, it is uncovering or discovering. I had to remove all these covers. Removing covers means it is removing false identifications, or it is removing so many superimpositions. Removing superimpositions means it is negating. So after negating all this, after removing all these false identifications, I am realizing this fact. My real nature is Ananda. But I was considering myself as somebody having pleasure and pain, because this Ananda was covered because of discovering as a natural effect the real Ananda that didn't manifest out. And I was in search of Ananda. Just like a stream of water which came from an ocean. It runs to be merged with that ocean. And so many streams make a river, and again very big rivers. They're running just to be merged with the ocean. To be in the real state, let us use a more transactional term, to be one with the real nature. All are striving. That is how a river is in this world, this earth. That is how the flames of fire are there. That is, all the manifestations are going to be one with the real nature. So my real nature is Ananda. I'm in search of Ananda. And to get that, I am running behind many objects, many things of the world. Now I am realizing this is my real nature. This is a realization. We can explain this quoting many Shruti Vakyas, many Smriti Vakyas, and words of 8 Acharyas. But in whatever length we explain this, all these are in the intellectual level. The reality remains far higher than that. That is a matter of inner experience. This is not a thing to be explained in words. But words are some pointers. Just like signboards. They will show the way. They will show the direction. And of course, the distance. Seeing that and understanding the sense, we have to travel. We have to discard the signboards. We have to discard the pointers. And we have to tread the path shown by that. In the same way, these are These are signboards. These are pointers. Cidānandarūpaḥ. These are pointers. They shows the way. Cidānandarūpaḥ. I am of the nature of Chit and Ananda. And we can take in another sense also. It is Chittaha Anandam Chidanandam. That is the bliss of the knowledge, bliss of knowledge. Bliss comes from knowledge. Real knowledge is bliss. Real knowledge gives bliss, or it makes bliss. Reality is not something making. It begets bliss. So Chidananda is the bliss of knowledge. How it is? Because the knowledge is showing that your real nature is nothing but bliss. It is showing that. Having this bliss or getting this bliss is a matter of recognizing. It's a matter of realizing. It is not a matter of creating. No. It is our Swarupa. It is our real nature. And because of so many superimpositions, we forgot that. Now, because of that realization, pratyabhijña, that is recognizing, we are recognizing. I am knowing this, I am realizing this. My real nature is Chidananda. And who am I? Aham śivo'ham, aham śivo'ham, aham, I am śivo'ham. Because I am Chidananda, I am śivo'ham. Shiva is the most auspicious one. Knowledge is the most auspicious thing. And knowledge absolute, that being my form, or that being my real nature, I am Shiva. I am falsely identifying myself with the Shiva, with his body. Yes. I am the body when I am considering myself as the body. That is true. But I am the entity which is making the body move, live. And my real nature is Shiva. I am the most auspicious one. So, this we cannot explain in words. If we both sit together, we can talk for days and days on Shiva. Many aspects of Shiva. His Aguna aspect, his Nirguna aspect, that is both Shivam and Śivo'ham. And when we take the Saguna aspect, that is with qualities, again we can talk about Shivaha and Shiva for days and days together. But after talking for many days on Shiva, discussing, presenting papers, this, that, and writing volumes and volumes, one after another, finally we will realize I didn't or I couldn't enter into that realm. Because what I am speaking or what I am writing or what I am explaining, all these are my own postulations. All these are pointers, as we have seen earlier. All these are pointers. But what Shiva is, that we cannot explain through words because it is above the realm of words and thoughts. Yato vacho nivartante. That is the truth. That is the reality. So we are not going to explain the word Shiva here. Where all words, they fail. And stop. That is the real state of Shiva. We cannot express through words. It is the very base from which all words are coming. All thoughts are coming. So we cannot explain that. All Shastras are trying to explain that. There is a beautiful shloka in the Shiva Mahimna of Pushpadanda. Shiva Mahimna Stotram of Pushpadanda is most famous, that much beautiful, and containing almost all aspects of Paramatma Tattva. Both the Saguna aspect and Nirguna aspect are explained well there, with qualities and without qualities. All are explained. And each and every shloka in that Shiva Mahimna Stotra can be explained with quotations from Shrutis and Smritis. It is that much a beautiful piece of writing. And finally, after doing all this, finally, in the last shloka, what Pushpadanda is writing, it is Tava Tattvam na janami. Kidrishosi Maheshwara. Yadrishosi Mahadeva. Tadrishaya Namo Nama. Tava Tattvam na janami Kidrishosi Maheshwara. O Maheshwara, I do not know what is your real form. What is your real nature? I do not know. Yadrishosi Mahadeva. What is your real nature? Unto that I am offering my salutations. Tadrishaya namo nama. Unto that I am offering my salutations. See, after explaining all the aspects of Shiva with qualities and without qualities, that too in a most attractive way, beautiful lyrics. Finally, Pushpadanda is writing this. It is the fact. It is the fact. That which cannot be defined is the definition of Ishvara. So, we cannot explain that, śivo'ham. It is the expression of inner experience which transcends all the limitations of name and form, all the limitations of time and space, and of course of causation. So that is my real nature. That is said here, cidānandarūpaḥ, śivo'ham, śivo'ham. So this sentence, that is cidānandarūpaḥ, śivo'ham, śivo'ham, is repeated in all the shlokas to come. In all the shlokas. That is a sort of reinforcing. This reinforcing comes from the standpoint of a sadhaka. That is, from the standpoint of a sadhaka, a seeker, when he is doing contemplation, he is negating what can be negated. He is reaching at the final point, which cannot be negated, and that is reinforced again and again. And for that reiteration comes. And from the point of view of a realized one, who is pouring this out with extreme compassion, pouring what? His own experience. For him, it is not a sort of reinforcement. It is just a repetition, because he need not reinforce anything. But he has nothing to do more than that. He has nothing to do more than that. So he is speaking out. I am that, I am that. And to proclaim that, to exhort that, all the process of negation, he did for the benefit of seekers, not for him. He has nothing to gain. So it is for the seekers. It is for the seekers. So this is the first shloka. Manobuddhyahaṅkāra cittāni nāhaṃ. I am not the mind, the intellect. And nacha śrotrajihve, nacha śrotrajihve, nacha ghrāṇanetre. I am not the senses of knowledge. Nacha vyoma bhūmir na tejo na vāyuḥ. I am not the elements, primary elements. Then who am I? Cidānandarūpaḥ, aham śivo'ham, aham śivo'ham. So this is the first shloka, and we can go to the second shloka in our next sitting. So in all the shlokas to come, that is all the 6 shlokas, the last line, that is last pada, is the same. Cidānandarūpaḥ śivo'ham śivo'ham. So that is the affirmation here. I am that. And to affirm that, we are negating everything else. And what are to be negated? We can continue in our next sitting. So whatever be your doubts or questions, you can ask without any hesitation. And if I know the answer, I will reply. Namaste.
Namaste. From last session, the questions queue is Gopakumar Ji. Please unmute and ask.
Namaste Ji.
Namaste. Namaste.
I'm not able to clearly understand the relationship between Indriya, Panchabhuta and Tanmatra. Can you help us?
See, when we are trying to understand the manifested universe or the universal phenomena, the first step or the first stage of manifestation is in the elemental level. Tasmad vāye tasmad atmana ākāsha sambhūtaha. Akashad vāyuḥ, vāyoragnihi, agnerāpaḥ, adhya prithivī. This is the order, or this is that level, that stage. These are 5 elements: the space, the air, the fire, the water, the earth. So when we see this, when we speak of these 5, we have to understand that these are in the subtle form. That is, from the causal, the subtle came, and from the subtle, all the gross fields are manifesting. This is the order. So these are the subtle form. And what is the subtle form of elements? They are called tanmatras. They are called tanmatras. And in the tanmatra level, Akasha is Shabda, Vayu is Sparsha, Agni is Rupa. Jalam is Rasam. And Prithvi, Gandham. So these are the Panchatanmatras. And in the next step, these 5 subtle forms, that is Tanmatras, they will make or they will be transformed to the grosser level. And that transformation is explained in Vedanta Shastra with the help of the process of Panchikarana. That is sharing of these Tanmatras and making the gross form. Before that process, that is, before the formation of gross elements, Panchabhutas, in their gross form, all the senses of knowledge and organs of action are formed. See, even the Panchabhutas, they came from the Prakriti, and the Prakriti is having 3 qualities: Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. The Prakriti, which is responsible for the formation of Panchabhutas, it is tamasic or tamas dominant. Even though it is so, there are Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Yes, it is tamas dominant. There is the dominance of tamas. There is no doubt in that. But even then, there is Sattva, there is Rajas. So from the Sattva part of these subtle elements, all the senses of knowledge are made. That is śrotrendriya, togindriya, netrendriya, rasanendriya and ghrāṇanetre. That is senses to cognize sound, touch, forms, taste and smell. And as an effect of the collective sattva guna of all 5 subtle elements, our internal instruments are formed. They are coming. And from the Rajasic part of each and every bhuta, Sukshma bhuta, organs of actions, vākpāṇipādau, upastha, respectively, all these are manifesting. And from the collective rajoguna of five bhutas, pranas, they are coming into existence. Here we have only one way, and that way is depend on what our acharyas taught. Logically, we can establish the connection between senses and their area. That is the area of śrotra is shabda. There it will travel, there it will go. And that only it can cognize. That we can establish with logic. But how this sense came from that bhuta, there we have to depend on the pramana. That is the sayings of our rishis. There is no other way. It is the final pramana. Where pratyaksha and anumana won't go. That is where direct perception and inference do not work. They will not go. They are the only valid proof of knowledge or valid means of knowledge. That is the sayings of realized ones, aptanam vakyam. That is Shastra. So here, Shastra is the only pramana. This we have to realize. So according to Shastra pramana, this is so. So these are the connection between bhutas in their subtle form and senses. Now, after the process of sharing the qualities, that is panchikarana, the subtle elements, they becomes gross elements. And this prapancha, the gross universe, the worlds around, all these are made of these gross bhutas. So, tanmatra is in the subtle form, and uniting together, they will make gross elements, and from their gunas, that is tanmatras, all the senses of knowledge and organs of actions are made, and a particular sense will work in or for that guna. It work in that guna or for that guna. So that is the relation between this. So these are some points we can discuss as an answer to your question. We have to connect them, and to connect them, the only basis we have or at our disposal is Shastra. Shastra alone. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Namaste, Swamiji. Next question is
Namaste.
from Jaya Narendra ji. I don't see her joining today's classes. So I think I will ask, I have a question. My question is, Swamiji, during the discourse, you say Shruti says so as per Shruti and also. Could you please explain Shruti and Smriti? And other thing is, we say Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Upanishads, but Bhagavad Gita is said to be a Smriti. That is the first part of my question. And second question is about the Vedas are classified into Samhita, Aranyaka, Upanishads, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishads. What are the criteria to classify, or what are the yardstick we use to classify it into 4 branches? That is my question.
Yeah. Shruti, the word meaning of Shruti is that which is heard, or which can be heard, or that with which we are hearing. Some Shruti. And when we say Smriti, it is that which is memorized, or that which is coming as a memory, or that which gives the memory, or that make memory. In so many ways we can translate. That is Shruyate iti Shruti. Shruyate anaya iti Shruti. Shushrava iti Shruti. And the same way Smriti is Smaryate. Smaryate. Or Smaryate anaya. Sasmara. That is Smriti. And when we take this term to mean our Shastras, how we have to understand? Here, Shruyate, what is being heard, means that which came as a direct experience, just like how we are hearing. It is a direct experience. I heard it. I know that. How you are knowing? I heard it. Because I heard, I know. So that knowledge is the effect of my direct perception. Swami, how do you know this? I have seen that. So that knowledge which I have, or I am having, is the effect of direct perception. So the knowledge which rishis got directly, that is Shruti. A little more explanation is needed here. The world around us, what we are seeing around us, It is a wonder, and it makes a big question within. What is this? What is the cause of all this? And how this universe is existing? And I am seeing a perfect order is binding everything together. Who is that? And what is the binding force? So what is this universe? What is the primary cause of this universe? And who is controlling all these universal phenomena? And above all, who am I? The me who is observing and who is observing all this and asking all these sort of questions. Who am I? So these are the basic sources or basic points from where all the queries we have comes. To find out the answer or to reach at the answer, we are striving. All branches of science came from this. All philosophical propositions, postulations came from this. All darshanas, everything. So, in our life, at some point of our life, these questions will come, must come. But we will keep it aside for practical purposes. But the rishis who realized Vedas, they dedicated the whole of their life for this realization. Deeper inquiries. Through deeper inquiries, analysis, they searched and searched. And they realized the reality was revealed. And that revelations they had, we call it by the name Shruti. Because it is their direct experience. Shruyate. And what they have heard, that is the knowledge. Knowledge absolute. Ultimate knowledge. And that is Shruti. So, by the term Shruti, Vedas are meant. Veda means knowledge. Veda means knowledge. It comes from the root vidjnane. When we are suffixing it with the pratyaya ghanya, Veda comes into existence. That is knowledge. So this is the absolute knowledge which rishis got. That is Veda. And that is Shruti. And out of compassion, out of pure love, And of course, out of the knowledge they had, that knowing this alone will lead to the goal of human life. So because of that realization, that knowledge, and out of compassion, they taught to the world what they had. So when they transferred their inner knowledge to the world through seekers, through students, then the literature came into existence. In the first phase, Veda is knowledge alone, and that is Shruti. And in the second phase, when that is transferred to the world through students or seekers, in the form of teachings, in the form of advices, in the form of sayings, then it is Veda. And in this phase, in this stage, it is scriptures. In the first meaning, it is knowledge, it is not scripture. It is the knowledge, it is the absolute knowledge. It is the knowledge realized by the sages. And the second stage, it is the scriptures which are giving this knowledge, which are showering this knowledge to the world. And this is also Shruti, Veda. And these are given to the world. They gave this knowledge to the world. Through their teachings, well composed. And that composition was by way of prose, by way of poem, poetry, by way of music. All these patterns they made use of. And that is how Rika, Yajus and Sama came into existence. And see, we cannot impart the ultimate knowledge to a beginner. Yes, he is a seeker, there is no doubt in that. But we have to give, we have to pour according to his capacity, his ability to understand. All on a sudden, you cannot teach the whole literature or the whole teachings. So, a scientific and systematic way they adopted. And their first concern was to make the seekers or to make the common people fit to have that knowledge. How is it possible? They instructed to do this and that rituals. They prescribed many lifestyles, so many do's and don'ts. So these teachings constitute the first part of Veda, which is called the Karma Kanda. So by performing these rituals, and observing the do's and don'ts, naturally a person will become fit to have the highest knowledge, fit to receive the highest knowledge. Then, let me repeat, then only they gave the absolute or ultimate knowledge. This part is called the Jnana Kanda. So there are two kandas, two parts. If Veda is a tree, it have two kandas, two branches. One that deals with karma, the other that deals with the ultimate knowledge. And in the karma kanda itself, there are parts. First comes the Samhita. Samhita means a collective anthology or a collection of many things. That is Samhita. So collection of many mantras in praise of devatas. Many devatas. See, our scientific endeavor it started with discovering the potentialities of fire. All the science, all the branches of science, all technology, all philosophy, everything started with fire. It was the turning point. And therefore, the first devata is fire. Agni. Agni is the first devata. And thereafter, a row of devatas are coming. An array of devatas. Because air is there, water is there, sun is there. So many. And from these gross levels, our rishis traveled to the subtler level and they realized many more devatas in the subtler level. And in the gross and subtler levels, there are innumerable devatas, and these devatas are praised, and this piece of praisings are the main part of Samhita. And making use of the Samhitas, many rituals are conceived. And how to do that? There comes the other part, the Brahmana. Of course, there are highest thoughts, highest revelations of the ultimate knowledge revealed there. But still, the subject matter of Brahmana is connected with rituals. So first the praise, second the rituals making use of that praise, and these both constitute the main part of or the main divisions of karma kanda. That so it is said by the commentators of Veda like Sayana, Mahidharaya, all. Samhita Brahmanatmako Veda. Samhita and Brahmana constitute Veda. And of course, as an appendix of this Samhita and Brahmana comes Aranyaka. There all these are discussed. There in the Aranyaka there are praises. There are mantras in praise of different devatas. There are ways and means of doing many rituals. There are glimpses of the ultimate knowledge. Everything is there in the Aranyaka. But it gives weightage to upasanas. More subtle form of worship, which will lead us to ultimate knowledge. And in the Jnana Kanda, the subject matter is the knowledge absolute. That is the ultimate knowledge. But of course, as in Samhita and Brahmanas, there are all these aspects. For example, there are many pieces of praise are there. Some rituals are there. And do's and don'ts are there. But the main subject matter of Jnana Kanda is Vedanta. That is the ultimate knowledge. So all these together we call Veda. And when we speak of Veda, we have to take Vedanga and Upaveda. That is to understand Veda. We have to approach Veda through its limbs. Limbs of Veda are called Vedangas. They are 6 in numbers: Shiksha, Kalpam, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandas and Jyotisham. And see, this man of realization, to whom the reality is revealed, or discoverers, who did that discovery? Out of them. Like rivers or streams. That knowledge started flowing from them. It is for the benefit of the world, to bless the world. From their inner knowledge, just like the flowing of Ganga from the Himalayas. That is from the frozen water, that is ice. Water is flowing down. In the same way, the condensed or the frozen knowledge that manifested in the form of smrutis. So it came as an effect of that memorizing, repeated thinking, contemplation, ruminating over what they have realized. This flowing of smriti happened. And they are, that is the smriti are itihasas and puranas. itihasas are 2 in number, Mahabharata and Ramayana. And Puranas, there are 18 Mahapuranas. So, just as the frozen water, that is the ice and the water are one and the same. When we look into the material, they are one and the same, but their manifestation is different. In the same way, Shruti and Smriti are one and the same. There is no difference. The subject matter is one, but their formation is different. It is different. One is with so many explanations, narrations, stories, examples, many things. Because it is meant for the common world. They have to have many examples. Many examples, many stories. So with the help of stories, with the help of many parables and tales, and of course, considering the lives of many great men and women, the text of Smriti that is flowing from the very source. The source is Shruti. And that flowing rivers are Smritis. And in the Itihasas, lives of great men and women are the media through which Shruti is imparted. And in Puranas, so many tales and parables, stories, they are the media to impart that Shruti. And now, lawgivers, or those concerned with the formation, setup, maintenance of the society. Formation of the society, maintenance of the society, and setup of the society. Such great men, they did a somewhat codifying, taking from here and there rules and regulations, and things connected with the do's and don'ts. And they wrote a separate branch of Shastra. They are Dharma Shastras. Like Manusmriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, Parashara Smriti, Atri Smriti. So many Smritis are there. So all these constitute Smriti. So Smriti follows Shruti. Shruti is the basic thing. It is the very base of Sanatana Dharma. And amongst these Smritis, we have seen Itihasas are there, and one of the Itihasa is Mahabharata, and Bhagavad Gita is a part of this Mahabharata. It comes as a part and parcel of Mahabharata. So being a part of Smriti, it is also a Smriti. So there is no doubt in that. Gita is a Smriti. But the subject matter of Gita is the essence of Veda. So when we consider the subject matter, it is a Shruti. Gita is a Shruti. But it comes as a part of Mahabharata, which is a Smriti. And when we take Bhagavad Gita as a text, it is a Smriti. There is no doubt in that. We have to have a clear picture of this. We have to have a clear idea regarding this. How Gita is a Smriti and at the same time it is considered as a Shruti. That is why Acharyas are saying Gita Upanishad. Gita Upanishad. So now I think your question is well answered. We can continue in our next session. Namaste.
We can conclude with the Shanti Mantra.
Yeah. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryangaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidveshavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.